Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the events that you can look forward to or not over the upcoming week. So, first of all, obviously the big thing that's coming on Thursday is the fusion it's a fragment fusion. Just collect 100 fragments, fuse the legendary at a time of your choosing, which is nice. You can save them for a personal reward CvC. We'll talk about CvC in a minute. The fusion warm-up event is live. The fusion starts on Thursday. It's the 20th of November. And yeah, stay tuned. I will have a full showcase for the fusion whenever we're allowed to do that. I will have as well, of course, a full plan for the fusion for how to tackle it. That will probably be a couple of hours after the fusion actually goes live on Thursday. The fusion plan will be out. It's going to be kind of scary, right? Like, probably going into a summon rush this weekend. And I mean, I've got 3 sacreds, not exactly a huge amount. We're going to have another shard event after that. So yeah, how to even complete this fusion? Will it even be possible? I guess we'll find out on Thursday, huh? Will we even want to? I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we have a showcase. Right. So we also have over here on Plarium Play, you can see the events that are coming before the Thursday. There is a Sand Devil turn attack overlapping with CvC, which is personal rewards. Look at that in a second. And then there are other sort of filler events. Nothing too important. I mean, Spider and Sand Devil, both very good for CvC. It's personal rewards, which is makes it again kind of spicy because after all the turtle events, probably a lot of people are pretty low. So I'm guessing it's going to be one of the lower scoring personal reward CvCs. But then again, because it's going to be a low scoring personal reward CvC, maybe a bunch of clans are going to be like, oh, actually, maybe we can fight this time. And suddenly it ends up being one of the highest scoring CVs because everyone is like, oh, they can't have that many more points. Let's keep pushing. And suddenly everyone has loads of points. That's a danger. Everyone loses in that situation. Hopefully it won't be that. I guess we'll find out. I will be streaming this tomorrow, so I'll see you guys. Hopefully should be here when the CvC actually starts, bang on when it starts for our regularly scheduled CvC stream. And yeah, I'll be grinding pretty hard for personal rewards. I don't know if there's any champions I super need to build. We could build Narma. Take a look at her now that she's been reworked. That might be a thing. I'm not sure if I have anything else major to work on right now. It's been sort of a slow period in Raid. We'll see. My turtles are all up and running, so we can obviously talk more about the turtles and whatnot. I'll see you for that stream anyway. And there is a summon event. Here it is, coming alongside that personal reward CvC. So Tuesday, the 18th November, got these ones, and Wednesday, the 19th, we've got these ones. I mean, at a quick glance at an overview, it's pretty underwhelming. It's one of the worst CVs, one of the worst 15x events. It feels like this is really just for the sake of it. I'll be completely honest. This feels like, well, we need something for this CvC. Nobody wants to do this one. So yeah, like we're coming up to Black Friday at the end of the month. Again, I talked about my prepare for Christmas and this fusion and all the Christmas stuff. The last 2 years, there's been a Yuletide Titan event that's kicked off at the start of December. So in like 2 weeks, I would expect a Titan event. The last 2 years, it's given a Void Legendary Champion. It was Sir Nick to go with Lady Noelle, and then before that, it was Torment. So like, I feel like you really want to be saving for December. So this, to me, is a very hard sell. Okay, we have a couple of decent ones to start off. Harima and Freya, they are both great. I would say that these are both worth pulling for. I'd put them relatively even. I'm putting Harima maybe slightly ahead of Freya, but yeah, I'm going to put Harima a bit ahead of Freya. But they're both really good. So these I would consider if you're really, really close to or deep into Mercy. Again, it's only a roughly 7% chance that you would get the particular legendary that you choose in a 15x versus getting any other legendary that you can pull. So over 90% of the time, almost 95% of the time, 19 times out of 20, isn't it? You're going to be disappointed. But it might be worth the gamble for these two. They're pretty decent. Harima, still very unique. They've obviously introduced the Fortify buff now, which makes Ignore Defense weaker. But Fortify buff is still extremely rare. So she has much stronger, much stronger than the Fortify buff as well. Decreases Ignore Defense by 50%. That's massive. That really counters a lot of champions in Arena. Now, you don't see Harima all that much anymore. You still see her from time to time, but she's not as common a pick as she used to be, simply because we've got so many mythical damage dealers now, and there's been more void damage dealers, and just crazy champions, crazy power creep. I think Harima is still really good. She obviously can also scale up to 100% bonus defense, which does make her actually pretty good in longer fights. She's comparable to like a ninja, that sort of thing. I think not quite as strong, actually, but she's up there in terms of that, like a good champion who also brings AoE provoke, which is cool. She's solid. But yeah, I would consider her kind of worth going for. Like, I would love to have Harima, but she's certainly not like, I think at one time she would have been, this is the damage dealer to have. I don't think she's that anymore. But she is very good still, just not, you don't see her every single fight like you used to. Freya, I think, again, is just very solid. She's been out in the game for like over a year now, isn't it? But she's still really good, right? Really high base speed, good turn meter boost with block debuffs and debuff removal. Great shield with increased defense, big shield, counterattacks when, sorry, it's on this move. She counterattacks when the shield is broken with an AoE, can hit pretty hard, scales up her defense, has got a cheat death mechanic. I do prefer Donatello's to this one, but this one's okay. It only goes on your highest crit damage champion, whereas Donatello's can go on anybody. And his is a bit better, keeping them alive. Hers gives you an instant turn, though. It's much more aggressive, but it's quite easy for them to just die to multi-hits like Marius and stuff. But yeah, she's really good. You can build her for damage. You can build her as a turn meter booster. You can build her as a general support. You can go 9-piece protection. You can go damage sets. You can go stone skin. There's so much you can do with her. I think she's really fun champion. And yeah, I guess that's one thing to say for her. She's a really fun champion. There we go. Now, honestly, I'm going to go red here. I would not recommend Martyr, Bivald, or Molly. Sorry. I would have at one time. Funny enough, at one point in time, Martyr, I think, was considered one of the best champions in the game. Maybe with the new bosses coming up, we'll see counterattack come back in. But I think it's kind of unlikely. Yeah, like there's just none of the bosses in the game are designed that you want them to be hitting you a lot. Let's put it like that. You're pretty much always incentivized to take far more turns than the boss does. So I don't see counterattack ever being all that relevant. Certainly not as relevant as it was back in whatever, I don't know, 2001 when the game came out. I don't know. And people were fighting Demon Lord and it was amazing and all the rest. But yeah, she's okay. You'll use her. She's not useless, but I wouldn't recommend going for her in a 15x. I use her a decent amount for Cursed City and stuff. She's good for that, but she's not top tier. Bivald, likewise, he's decent. He's a former fusion. Again, you'll use him for Cursed City, faction wars and stuff, but not too much else. He does a bit of damage, heals you, and gives you a shield based off the damage. This is his big thing, the AoE provoke with Leech, which is cool. And strengthen on him, which is a bit weird. He can provoke on his A1. He's fine. He's a decent provoker, bit of damage, bit of healing for your team. Again, he's a good champion, but nothing special. Same with Molly. She's a good champion. Was top tier at one point as well. I think in like the Hegemon era, she would come in and she gives you a huge turn meter boost when she's hit. It's actually a really good turn meter boost when she's hit by a boss, and she brings in a revive. She has a provoke, reflect damage. I have used her before. I don't have her, but I've used her on other accounts and showcases and stuff to be like a mischief tank for Hydra. Again, that sort of fell off being relevant for endgame accounts. I don't know, a long time ago. She's okay, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, again, a good champion. You'll definitely use her a little bit if you have her, but she's not top tier. Not worth pulling for. We'll stick with the non-voids for now. Staltus, I do like Staltus, but I don't love him. Sun Wukong I like a lot, actually. I'll actually put him pretty high. Modo, Goffred, and Prysma. I'm going to say Prysma, maybe, actually. And then I wouldn't really recommend these two, but they're not dreadful. Staltus, defense damage dealer. Doesn't have crazy damage, but he does have 2 AoEs. This one can stun. A little bit tricky to build him with enough accuracy to be doing this reliably in like high-end faction wars and stuff and still do good damage. Yeah, his damage not amazing, but he's got pretty decent control. Fun thing here, he is immune to weaken, decreased defense, and poison. He actually reflects them back, which is sick. I think that damage from each debuff on the target does hold him back from being super good in arena. He's only okay, because this is hard to trigger. He's actually very good against Dragonheart. Dragonheart tries to put these debuffs on you, and he just reflects them back. He's great, but Dragonheart is extremely easy these days. It's really fallen off in the difficulty compared to when it first came out, and you can just smash it. I mean, like, you can almost solo it with Marius. So yeah, Staltus, he's a very good champion, but not one I would overly chase here, but I think it's a maybe. I think I've honestly probably been a little too generous there. I don't know if I can erase. Can I even erase that? Looking at the, no, I don't know how to. I don't know how to erase. I only know how to draw in whatever snip and sketch. I don't know. Staltus is like, yeah, he's okay, maybe, but he's a hard maybe. Now Wukong definitely I think is decent for sure. Still, he can still come in with his passive revive and one shot an entire team in arena. He can still do that. Very, very good. Great arena aura. He's great. I mean, he's still super. He's still a very strong combo with Ultimate Death Knight. He's like the budget, like not the budget, but like the free to play player's hero, where you get him through a promo code, and he's the top tier damage dealer, right? Like, you know, he's not the best of the best of the best, but he's only one step down for arena. Like, he is super good. I really do like Sun Wukong. He can also, I mean, he's been in some of those teams speed farming event dungeons, right? Seek Friend is the preferred option generally, because this move is just better, but Wukong's move is very similar. And yeah, with Giga Crack gear and like a Shuzan and the right champions to support, like Ashnar, Firal, that sort of thing, for damage boost, you can have Wukong just one-shotting even top-level event dungeons even still. So yeah, I mean, he really is. He really is the free-to-play, the low spenders, absolute MVP champ. If you don't have him, I definitely would consider going for him. I will put Harima and Freya higher. I don't know if that's right, though. I mean, you could consider Wukong to be that high. It's one of those things where the accessible champion, we tend to underrate them. Maybe I am underrating him here. He's good. So yeah, if you want to go for him, that's fine. Now, Modo and Goffred, again, not terrible, but not worth going for. Modo is sort of like an AoE stun machine. He's not awful. One of his big problems, he combos with Esme the Dancer, but they're not in the same faction. Which means that Faction Wars Hard is like the really hard PvE content at the moment. It doesn't work. It don't work. They're in different factions. So that sucks. There's actually a few champions like that. Like, who's the Dark Elf? Ultin of the Shell. This guy's like Ultin of the Shell 2.0. He's okay in arena, but not great. One thing that's I think my favorite fact about Modo is you read this move here, Peel of Breaking. 75% more damage attacking enemies under Stone Skin. This is the Stone Skin smashing move. Give him whatever that set that you can't get because it's only from Live Arena and you don't get enough of it. Give him 9 pieces of that set from Live Arena. Give him a 6-star, because obviously you got a 6-star blessing, right? Give him a 6-star anti-Stone Skin blessing. He's going to destroy Stone Skin. And the fun fact about him is, if you run Esme, the double hit here, he always puts the double hit and he ignores defense, yeah? With Esme, this move, with no anti-Stone Skin bonus, does more damage to Stone Skin than this move. So you're much more likely to break Stone Skin with this one than with the one with the 75% damage bonus, which is really stupid. But hey, that's how it works. But yeah, I mean, he's okay. He's not terrible, but he's only okay. And again, I think he struggles for somewhere to use. Like Arena, him and Esme, they're only okay. Faction Wars, if Esme was in the faction, he'd be insanely good, but she's not, so he's not. Sort of the story there. Maybe they will be good and stuff in future, but you should never really pull for champion. Yeah, probably good advice. Never pull for champions because of future value, because it might never arrive. Pretty much. There's plenty of champions to pull for that have great value now and will have great value in the future as well, most likely. The now value, though, can be a certainty. Goffred, again, decent champ. I do like he'll cheat death and give someone block damage. It's decent. AoE stun. This move's a bit shit, unfortunately. He's okay. Sort of the passive is his thing, right? The cheat death, kind of cool. A little bit of niche arena stuff. Again, I do feel like there's just been a lot of power creep. We're getting a lot more characters that are just better than him. He's not terrible, but he's not amazing. But he's okay. He is okay, but I wouldn't really go for him. Now, Prysma, I'm really uncertain still about how good Prysma is. Prysma is such a big mystery to me. Seems like they're decent, but not insane. They're a reviver that has no defensive stuff whatsoever. It's purely offensive reviver, which is cool, but it can be difficult to fit into your teams, but can be really cool. So you got the revive, which is nice, but he's got the ally attack that gives the ally attacking 35% ignore defense. They get an instant turn if they kill someone. I guess that's a bit of a problem. Could be pretty cool for bosses like clan boss and stuff, but because a lot of the value is baked into landing a killing blow, again, a bit of a lack of content in which to use Prysma. I mean, in High Elves, everyone is Arbiter, which is good enough, really. A1 can stun. He's got a really fun passive where he can flip buffs into debuffs on the enemy team, which is cool. A lot of fun offensive stuff with Prysma. I find he's quite unique, actually. I think it is just very hard to judge how good he is. I wouldn't mind having him. I'm going to put him as a small recommend, but nothing too crazy. Then we come to the Voids. I like Crisk, and I will be honest with you. I would go like that. I would not recommend Soulless or Angar, I'm afraid. I was thinking about, I did a collab with Ash recently, and I actually picked Crisk as arguably the best champion in Lizards. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit of nostalgia, a bit of bias talking on my behalf, really. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I mean, he is really comfy. Especially whenever a new boss comes out, throwing in Crisk with the ally protection, you can have that protected 75% of the time now with protection sets as well, which is cool. He's bringing the constant decreased defense and decreased attack spam. He's got the provokes, AoE decreased speed. He's such a comfy character for keeping your teams alive and making bosses easy. He is really, really good. I would recommend him a small amount, and everyone loves Crisk. Soulless, I definitely wouldn't recommend. He is really fallen off hard. Just not much place for this guy. You know, he's a defense-based damage dealer that's been hard power crept by multiple. He's got some provokes. He's okay against Hydra because he has 2 sources of provoke. But again, Hydra has been really power crept so much that you just kill the head instead of provoking it these days. So like endgame use, like he's really fallen off. I will say it's possible he could get a buff, but again, you should never pick a champion because they might get buffed. Then Tumisia, Jingwan, and Tremeria. These are all pretty darn low value. I will give a small nod to Tremeria, actually. So I've used the wrong color. What color was I using? A beautiful pink. Tremeria is okay. I'm going to put her kind of equal-ish to Prysma. Tremeria is interesting for Siege, I think, because she's got a good aura. She's got immunity to stun, and like not all of it. She can still be slept and petrified and stuff on this. But nonetheless, she can still help. She can also be provoke, and that's interesting. Excuse me, I didn't realize that. She's actually vulnerable to provoke. She's not immune to it. She will get turn meter though, huh? But yeah, she's pretty cool. Coming in as like an anti-Arman, so like a siege defense, she's kind of interesting, where she can remove all their debuffs, turn meter boost everyone, give them block debuffs. And yeah, she's immune to that crowd control herself. She has an AoE stun. She's an AoE decrease speed that can fear. A good speed aura. She's not terrible as a siege champion. Potentially very good for any Dark Elf content as well, though Dark Elf content's super limited, just pretty much faction wars in the siege post. Tumisia, I think, is actually has to be recommended. Tumisia has 1 strength, so it's going to be pretty obvious if you look at her kit. It's got like decreased defense A1. She's got the AoE HP burn and stun. It can stun or decrease speed. She has a big single target nuke, and she's immune to... Oh, she replaces freezes with burns, and enemies under burn, she's immune to CC. So you can tell the thing that she's really good for, obviously, is empowering Marius, okay? So you sorry. Yeah, you use her to empower Marius. Where is he? He's down here somewhere. Tremeria empowers Fatalis. That's interesting. I forgot that one. Marius is in here somewhere. Wait, where is Marius? Am I blind? Big horse. How do I miss a horse? There he is. Tumisia. Yeah, that's her main use. That's the main purpose. I mean, she's not a terrible champion, right? AoE stun and burns. It's fine. But she's just been pretty power crap. Not if you got her early game, she'd be very useful, but not a sort of champion you'd be chasing in a 15x, apart from empowering Marius. When you consider that, she actually becomes extremely valuable. So put that in here with brackets. Marius. Which makes her real good. And then Jingwan, you know what? Jingwan's okay. I'd give him a small recommend. He can have some small uses, actually. Jingwan, YST loves him. I don't have him, but he's cool. His passive is cool, where he's immune to all this crowd control. At the end of an ally, or at the end of basically a turn, if any of these crowd control debuffs are on your team, he removes all of them and gives you block debuffs for 1 turn instead. That has a 4-turn cooldown. It is pretty interesting, though, against event dungeons. It's been pretty common that Jingwan could be quite helpful there. A lot of the event dungeons have done True Fear. He removes it all, protects you, and then he can come in, he can remove buffs, he could block active skills, the waves. Block buffs have been very useful against event dungeons as well. Can increase debuffs on the bosses, nice. Decrease accuracy, strengthen on your team, remove buffs. Yeah, he does a bunch of cool stuff. I think he's actually pretty decent. Again, he's not getting a major recommendation from me. I actually put him slightly ahead of Tremeria, to be honest. In fact, yeah, I put him actually slightly higher than that. Yeah, something like that. So there you go. Broadly speaking, this 15x event, as you can see, you know, like Harima and Freya are pretty good. Sun Wukong's pretty good. Staltus and Prysma are a maybe. Crisk is decent. Jingwan and Tremeria are decent, but are they characters you want to use your 15x for voids on? Maybe barely for some people, but they're not massive priority. It's just like, oh, I use my 15x on a Tremeria for siege. Oh, that's a bit of a weird decision, but it's not the worst decision in the world. Whereas if someone is like, I use my 15x voids on a Soulless, you'd be like, what are you doing? And yeah, Temesia is the big thing here just because of empowering Marius. Do any of the others empower? It is something to consider, right? Some of them might. Jingwan empowers Jinro. Yeah, no, Jingwan's way better than Jinro. Will they ever buff Jinro? I don't know. They buff 2 champions a month. Who the heck knows? Probably not. Tremeria empowering Fatalis. Fatalis is actually all right. You could do that. I think that might be it from this. Yeah, so there you go. As I said, this is a pretty low value 15x. I'd say it's pretty much mostly for just spenders trying to get Temesia to empower Marius. Most people, you should skip this one and be preparing for December and the Fusion. Right, the 2 big events coming up. This November Fusion, then coming in a Yuletide Titan event and Christmas Fusion as well in December, and probably new content and stuff coming too. So yeah, prepare for that. I'm skip. I mean, for whatever it's worth, me my 3 sacred shards. Yeah, I'm not doing this one. My 8 voids. I'm gonna skip it. Shocker. Wow. Useful info. Anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for Clan vs. Clan. I'll also see you in what? 18 hours. Well, less by the time this goes live. Now you know when I recorded. Exciting stuff. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.